Hi, the voice of director Dustin Wade Mills here. I want to talk to you about the look of the Puppet Monster Massacre. I am a very visual person, and the look of my films is always very important to me. In Slaughterhouse Slumber Party, I was going for a colorful blue and green cartoonish aesthetic. In R.I.P. Rest in Pieces, I was trying to achieve a high contrast film noir style with the black and white photography. In the Puppet Monster Massacre, I'm going for a larger-than-life, big budget look, but I also want the movie to have that charming handmade aesthetic. So let's look at the teaser here and go through some shots. In this first shot, we're moving through a forest with high grass, but also there are some gravestones jutting up at odd angles. This is all 100% CGI, but I have added some natural movement to the camera to give the impression that it is on a gimbal, instead of just that perfect CGI camera move. And with the fog and the weird trees and the crooked graves, I was going for something you might see in a Laika movie or a Tim Burton movie. Now we're looking at Deep Dark Mansion. This is an important shot for a few reasons. One is that a good portion of the film centers around this place. See, this shot is also CGI, but if you look closely, you can see that the trees, the ground, the stones, and even parts of the house are made to look like clay or cardboard or plastic. Some of them even have fingerprints in them. The entire shot was designed to look like a miniature set. I won't get too technical, but really helps it have that miniature feel is that everything is built to a specific scale in the computer, which helps the lighting and camera correctly interact with it. That sort of dedication to a handmade look is something that will permeate the entire film. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit to this tentacle shot. So these are CGI tentacles. They've been animated, though, to move at 12 frames per second to emulate claymation being animated on twos, even though the camera work is being done at 24 frames a second. You've seen this kind of animation before in movies like the Lego Movie and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's the same thing, just a lot cheaper. They also jitter around as if they're clay, and the animator's kind of moving them around, and squishing them frame by frame as he's animating. Again, if you got in real close, you could see cracks, imperfections, and even fingerprints. Basically, all of that is just to say that these are CG tentacles, but I want them to look like stop motion. My hope, though, is to have some actual real stop motion in the final film as well. Okay, here we have our first shot of Raimi, and here he's being operated from below in front of a green screen. A lot of work went into making sure he blends into the forest background that we saw earlier. And here we have one of our monsters. This is Digger Whately, and he is a rubber hand puppet that was built by the very talented Vermilion Novak. She sculpted him in clay and then cast him in latex and painted him. I did the dental work on this guy, and he was also shot on a green screen. And finally, we have this full body shot of Raimi under the title. This is a big deal for me, actually, because in the original film, none of our puppets had legs. You never saw them from the waist down. Having full body puppets is a huge, huge improvement. For this shot, Raimi is being operated from the side through a hole in the back of his head, and I was wearing a very hideous and unflattering green shirt so that I could key it out later. So there it is. These are all examples of the sort of look I'm going for with the film and kind of the process that goes into making it all come together. Please support the film on Kickstarter, and I'll be talking to you again soon.